support Tommy. I have given a few quid in the past. I was about to give a few more, but I'm a bit wary of doing that with regards to these accusations. I think there needs to be clarity. Support Tommy. I have given a few quid in the past. I was about to give a few more, but I'm a bit wary of doing that with regards to these accusations. I think there needs to be clarity. My mate, he calls me, he thinks I'm a bit cultist. I kind of put too much. I imbue people with too much, and I shouldn't do. So, like, I've made a few videos about, and I've actually named the people, and then I've discovered subsequently that I shouldn't have put so much store in them, perhaps unfairly. So do I name them? Well, I'm going to discuss TR News because I've heard as well what's gone on, the accusations that abound. Avi Yemeni, now I've praised Avi Yemeni in a couple of videos before, seemed to have good spirit. Now I came across one of his videos where this is, I kind of, I can't view him the same, but there's a Palestinian guy, presumably a Palestinian guy, lying on the floor. He's just been shot by IDF soldiers, and you have Avi Yemeni, you can hear him screaming, just kill him, like that. Now, I don't care what that Palestinian guy's done. He's on the floor dying, just shout kill him or whatever. It's just disgusting. So I feel bad in a way because I realise he's got domestic problems, Avi Yemeni, but I can't say I care for him. I've praised Danny Tomo previously. Now I grew up in the southeast of England. It's a very tricky thing to discuss this, but there is a kind of a culture amongst Southern English sort of working class. It does go right up the class scale. You get middle class equivalents, you get public school equivalents, but so they were kind of quite spiv-like, and kind of like to kind of think they were cleverer than everyone, and so these sort of accusations about kind of using money that was intended for sort of good causes, exposing these rape gangs as basically bought a load of Bolivian marching powder and the like, disgusts me as well. So and I've heard the accusations against Danny Tomo. Apparently it's sort of, it was a conviction, but I suspended my kind of cynicism because the last thing I think of myself is stupid, and I can be very cynical about people. I suspend that cynicism to sort of see how the land lies. So it's not really an attack on him, but I mean, I think there needs to be a few clarifications, doesn't there?
Do you really think for 1 minute that I actually think that you give a damn about the veterans, about the children, about the elderly? Yeah, it's not well. It's the truth.
Where's the money?
It's the truth because you told me in that message. I wouldn't lie, would I? But you told me in a spooky voice note that you wanted to earn a living. That you wanted to earn a living.
Okay, maybe I said that, and maybe okay, but with what I do and where I go, I need to be able to look after my kids.
You go and get a job then. When you don't give a damn.
I need to be able to look after my kids.
Support Tommy. I have given a few quid in the past. I was about to give a few more, but I'm a bit wary of doing that with regards to these accusations. I think there needs to be clarity. Now, generally, sort of more widely, I think I am becoming more red-pilled. I mean, who cares anyway? It's just some guy in Scotland going on about these things, but I'm more red-pilled. I think there's more of an integrity about the ethno-nationalists. Now, in a sense, they're sort of squeezed into a corner. They have to accept their sort of pariah status. They're not, I don't know about their finances and stuff. I'm not saying there aren't sort of corrupt individuals amongst them, but they do seem to, they have kind of gone through the mill sort of in terms of how they're viewed and stuff. So I do have a certain respect for them, and I think now sort of to reflect back on the TR thing, I don't care about, I'm fed up hearing about Israel and the kind of the plight of Israel. Okay, Israel is a nuclear power that has behaved, if you look at the context of what happened to the Jews up until 1945, and then look at the context of how Israel's behaved towards the Palestinians. It's not pretty good, is it? It's not when you think what was done to them, what they've done to the Palestinians. But believe me, the last place I'll be is at somewhere like Celtic Park with the Palestinian flag, because I do not idealize them for 1 second. But Israel's a nuclear power, and I see Trump going on about Israel. Katie Hopkins has devoted most of her documentary to Israel. What is all this about Israel? This displacement of our kind of what should be a concern for our own countries, for the poor people, the poor white people in our own countries, being displaced to Israel. Israel can look after itself. Right, I spent, it's not a get out of jail card. It's not like a Trump card, but I spent 3 months there, and I can tell you, Israelis do not really care about Europe or the US. They have more respect for the US. They trust the US, just like the Arabs actually trust the US to be a kind of more honest kind of broker, and to be honest, doesn't care about them. They respect that more than Europeans and the British, who have kind of all that kind of imperial conceit going back centuries, the tentacles that kind of feel they've wrapped around the Middle East. But I'll tell you one thing about Israelis before I drop the subject, right? Israelis don't identify as somehow an extension of the West always. A lot of them do identify with the kind of the anti-Western imperialists. It was shocking to me as well. But anyway, I'm fed up thinking about this Israel thing, you know. But what I want to get is that, look, the thing about the TR thing is it's sort of a wider thing, you know. This sort of just back and forth against Islam is not fruitful. What is the end game in that respect? You know, you're just going to endlessly kind of butt up against an Islam that is just basically growing in numbers, is ultimately completely indifferent to what the TR News lobby, if you want to coin it, are doing. You know, and what I mean by that is that what do you want from Islam? You know, you have to put your demands out. You don't have any demands. It's just going to be an endless cycle of kind of Tommy being cat and moused with the state, thrown in prison, out of prison, thrown in prison, out of prison, which I don't wish for him. You know, and you know, kind of a lobby, a kind of a white working class, almost like a ragtag army. I don't mean that in pejorative. I just mean not in uniform and disciplined and with guns or anything, but like a ragtag army of people, kind of just turning up to kind of, in a sense, protest Muslims. But that's it. That's why I think the ethno-nationalists have a point here about the kind of the deeper, the wider kind of sort of territory, you know, about mass replacement. I think we do well to sort of discuss these things, you know, as opposed to kind of kind of a forced identification with Israel's plight as though that's our plight. I don't agree.
Out of all the groups, the most important one by a mile was the English Defence League, British Freedom Party. That was a serious, systematic, hugely funded effort by a section of the ruling elite, by this Zionist neocon clique, to dominate, to simply take over nationalism and turn it into their tool to encourage the white working class to go and fight their wars, and so that when the banking collapse comes, people are looking in the wrong direction instead of the real culprits. This party, we were approached. I was approached. We were offered money from the United States, and all they wanted was two things. They only wanted us to concentrate on Islam, and they wanted us only to focus on that, and it only came with one other thing. They wanted us to drop our criticism of the banking system. Those were the only two things. We had to concentrate on talking about Muslims, and we had to drop our criticism of the international banking system.